I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm going to get you into Friday today because it's Friday. You ain't got no job and you ain't got shit to do. Well, at least you're watching this YouTube video now. Welcome to the 90s nostalgia moment we're going to give on this YouTube channel. I am Val Kleinhans. Been meaning to put this video together for a minute, honoring, celebrating the movie that is Friday. Because to me, it always makes it into my top 5 movies of all time. Really, truly. I respect that this movie was made for and by the Black community. I do. Honestly, I don't think it would have been as successful as it is if anybody else had made it. But I know the intention behind creating it was just to show the funnier, more day in the life type moments in the hood, not the stereotypical ones placed on the Black community that do still occur today. Those stereotypes are still out there unfairly. So let's not ignore that. Let's not pretend that that doesn't still happen. But Friday was a breath of fresh air. It was a moment to broaden our perspective on what the Black community looks like. And there's a lot of reasons why I think it's taken off and why it's made its way into the hearts of all kinds of people. Even a white girl from Pittsburgh originally, like me. Today we're going to look at what else and who else Friday resonates with and why over 30 years later, we are still quoting it. Welcome to my love letter to Friday. Let's get into why we love it first. It's relatable. Number one, for a lot of reasons. Intentionally or not, it reaches a varied audience. It reaches women, for starters. I will just tell you, the moment that Mrs. Jones interacts with Mrs. Parker in the driveway, classic, spot-on showcase of how female relationships sometimes actually are.
Oh, look at her. Now she gonna be ashamed of herself coming out looking like that. Hey, girl!
Hey, how you doing?
Fine. I'm on my way to work.
Well, call me when you get home.
Okay.
I imagine a woman would have had to have offered some insight when that scene was written. I don't know. But those surface level pleasantries that, that happen and like both women know are not actually going to turn into a substantial relationship, right? They're just in public watching each other and acknowledging each other for appearances. That is so real. That is so real. That's all they're doing. They're acknowledging each other. They've already made their judgments about each other. And they're not going to try to step on each other's toes either. It's more about acknowledgement, but not going any deeper. Something women absolutely understand and relate to. The relationship drama and, the interactions between men and women really transcend gender, honestly, too, because anybody that's ever had a partner kind of understands what that's like, really, but particularly in Craig's relationship drama, in his pursuit of Debbie and his trying to untangle things with Joy. Everybody knows what that's like. More importantly, I also think that Friday is truly for the working class. And this, to me, is why I latched on to it personally. Big part of it. Mr. Jones is constantly reminding Craig that money is few and far between around here. And it's important for everybody to help out to keep this house running.
Now, when I went to bed last night, didn't I tell you to take out the trash? Yeah. So why didn't you do it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Around here, you're going to work, you go to school. The first of the month, rent is due. If you ain't got nothing on the table, you ain't got to worry about catching a dog. You got to worry about a dog catching your ass.
That's relatable. Take out the trash. We don't have hired help. There is no hired help. Okay? Groceries are sometimes scarce until that next paycheck comes in. We don't always have our preference readily available. It's when you can have it, when you can afford it. And sometimes you do better than that. Sometimes you don't. It just depends. That's relatable. I know you just got fired, but you can't dwell on that for too long. I need you to work to contribute to the income that this house sees. If you're the average person, you experience the same things. It is normal to have to wait until payday to buy something, or maybe even consider foregoing the purchase at all because the income just isn't there.
This ain't enough. Make it enough.
It's not always readily available. Most of us experience that. Unless you're in the 1%, most of us know what that feels like. Most of us have had our parents tell us things like this to try to drop those hints along the way so that by the time we're the average adult and we become part of the working class, just like everybody else, or like most people anyway, we start to understand that we're going to have to come to these realizations and make decisions and be prepared to make these decisions when things like this happen. Most of us experience that. And that makes these scenes and really the entire movie almost and the sentiments as part of it incredibly relatable. Most people in this neighborhood are worried about money.
Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Money, or the concern about it, is a central theme that ties this movie together. Working class people know what this feels like. Their life, their thought process, the decisions they make. Most of the time, it comes down to money and what's available and what isn't, and making a choice as to what to do with what you do have, if you have anything. Friday also reaches men. And I think this is done especially well. And I know I'm saying this as a woman, but I'm married to a man. I hang out with a lot of men. And I understand that there really aren't, we just watched Manosphere, all that stuff at the time of recording this video. It opened up my eyes as a woman as to the struggles that men go through, which are not always openly displayed or openly verbalized in the same way that a woman might share them. They're not. So you get to learn a little bit more. And I like that Friday reaches men in the moments that you see the men interacting with each other, but they're doing it in ways comfortable enough to share their struggles, allowing them to be vulnerable about it. Particularly, to me, the best scene that does this is when we see Mr. Jones and Craig talk right before he ends up fighting Depot.
You think you're a man with that gun in your hand, don't you?
I'm a man without it.
Put the gun down. Come on, put up your dukes. Now you're a man.
You have to provide the right environment for conversations like that to be had, particularly for men, because let's just be honest about it. We don't always give men the spaces or the environments to talk in a way that they're comfortable with. Friday does this, and that scene is a great example as to how it's done and how it's done well and how it's done in a way that men are comfortable with discussing the core of the subject matter, which in that scene is, look, I know you're worried about this, so I'm going to help you problem solve, and I'm going to help you do what we do, which is problem solve and get through this. But I'm going to speak to you about it in a way that doesn't take from your manhood, so to speak. It doesn't challenge that in any way, right? It's done well. We also love this movie because it is damn quotable. Every scene has a one-liner, truly. And it's the use of inflection when these lines are delivered, emphasis when necessary, moments like that are key to making these moments quotable, and the use of alliteration, all the above. Chris Tucker does a large part of the legwork on this as Smokey, and he does it well.
Damn! Big Worm ain't gonna do a goddamn thing, man. You got knocked the fuck out!
He's a natural.
And you know this, man!
I heard that Tommy Davidson was in the running to play Smokey somewhere along the line. I think I heard that. And while I could see Tommy Davidson getting the job done and playing the character and doing, okay at it, there's just something about the way that Chris Tucker does it that makes Smokey memorable. It's the emphasis, the over-exaggerated, physical comedy accompanied with Just the overly exaggerated movements, all of that accompanied with the lines delivered the way that they are, add to making that character memorable. And I will say, I wonder if part of this maybe had to do with age too, a little bit. I don't know I don't know that that's the reason Tommy didn't end up as Smokey. But I thought about this later, and I realized that Tommy is older than both Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. And in the movie, Craig and Smokey are supposed to be in their, let's say, late teens, early 20s, somewhere in there. Both of them really, truly were that age and in that age range when they were playing these characters. So the work is believable because they do look like anybody you would see dealing with those life experiences that most people normally would within that age range when you watch the movie. Makes it believable. So in conclusion, because Friday reaches women, because it reaches men, the working class, stoners for obvious reasons, it is an undeniable fact that it reaches a majority of people. And that is why this film blew up. And that's why we're still quoting it over 30 years later. If you've never seen it, give it a chance. You will be quoting it for the rest of your life. It made it into my top 5 for all of the reasons that I just listed above. If you want me to do a deeper dive into this or continue to do more nostalgic love letter type videos just like this one for other 90s or early 2000s movies, I got you. I do have some planned, but I'm always open to suggestions. So leave some in the comments so that we can get into it. If you like the vibe of this video, we'll do more. What do you think? Meet me there. Like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you in the next one.